like Truman Show live?
Like
Are we
Truman
sure?
Show, yes.
So I'm here with Magali. We did a live event last time, and it's the second time we're getting together, so we're we're learning more about each other.
Second date. And with the second date, I'm gonna ask some more questions.
I want to know who she is. I want to know why she got into this. I know I have my story, and mine started off with the tonic bar, learning about superfoods and Taoist tonic herbalism, how that works inside the body, studying the I Ching, body ecology, gut health. I really got into it. I had reasons why I got into it, but that's for another story. I want to know why Magali, who is a acupuncturist and a health consultant and co-owner of this great company called Kitchen Witch, which we're going to get into bone broth, but I want you guys to understand who we are, and we're not just, I'm not a salesman.
We're not just hawking
soups and broths.
There's a reason.
There's a deep reason to it, and it's rooted in being inspired in understanding radiant living and wellness and helping other people out and compassion. So, Magali, can you tell us a little story about where it all started for you as a practitioner?
Yes, yeah, I can. So it goes back to high school, really. I got interested in raw food, and I was a raw vegan for a while. I think I talked about this last time on our live. But where it really, really started for me in terms of diving into not just gut health, but overall, deep, vibrant living as healthy as we can in the prevention of chronic disease, that actually happened for me when my dad was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer.
How old were you?
I was 20, and which is crazy. I was 21. I was 21. I just turned 30 now, so it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
It was his third round with cancer. I was just starting in Chinese medical school, and I was not thinking about nutrition. I was not really thinking about overall wellness in the way that I do now. But when he got sick, things really changed.
Yeah.
And we all, as a family, went on a deep dive through different types of holistic healing. We did acupuncture, we did cleanses, we went to the Optimum Health Institute in San Diego, all of these different things, and yet there was no foundational theme or coalescing. And we were all so confused. We were trying to patchwork together, Western medical treatment. Do we do it? Do we not? Alternative Western treatment in Germany. Do we do it? Do we not? Fasting, vegan, high protein, all of these different things. Everyone was telling us different stories without a foundational theme.
Okay, yeah.
So keep in mind this is, 7 years ago at this point.
Okay.
We've come a long way in the wellness industry since even just 7 years ago. So even back then it was totally confusing. And I thought there has to be...
Well, everybody seems like they have... It seems like lately that, people are getting a little more open to, you are unique, you do digest differently, different people work off different things, but they're loosening up on it has to be this way.
You go to the liver doctor. You have eye cancer, which my dad also had. You go to the eye doctor. You have prostate cancer, which he also had. You go to the prostate doctor.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking to anybody.
Yeah.
So we're past that now, and we're in a deeper into nutrition. And then long emotional story short, my dad did pass pretty quickly from terminal liver cancer, which ended up being a major inspiration for me, and also put me into a period of deep anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
And what was so fascinating about it was that I was introduced to the GAPS diet at this time. If anybody knows anything about the GAPS diet, it's one of the foundational anti-inflammatory gut-brain axis diets. It was formulated in London by a woman who works with children with autism, ADD,
So I'm going to ask you, I love that whole connection.
Yeah.
And I want to get into that.
Well, here's my gut-brain story. So I was introduced to the GAPS diet by a mentor of mine, and she said, "You just have to do this," because I was waking up fearing the world crashing down on me, and then depressed and unable to really function the way that I used to. And it's easy to say, "Oh, it was my dad dying. It was so traumatic," but it was more than that. It was chemical, which I later found out. So I got to the GAPS diet, and after doing the GAPS intro, everything changed for me in my brain, and I realized that I had been living with like a film over not just my brain but my life.
Yeah.
Like it slowly started lifting, and I slowly started feeling like, holy crap.
So when you got into this, okay, so your journey went from, okay, you're trying out all these different things, you're going through all this stuff when you're in your early 20s, and then your course over the last 9 years. Give us a quick timeline of how you got to be this co-owner, acupuncturist / consultant, inspirational speaker, doing all this stuff. Like, so how did that happen?
It was really quick, because the GAPS diet and anti-inflammatory diets worked for me so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't realize that I could feel happy and clear and focused and motivated, like all in one day.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I could feel that way. I never had.
I think that's the problem with most people. They don't wake up feeling clear, and they have to drink coffee, or they have to get a stimulant.
Well, and they never have.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's like a brain fog that's always there.
And so you don't know how good it can feel on the other side.
Yeah.
Which is not to say that I feel perfect every day. That I don't.
No.
But now I know how to optimize and how to continue going up that road. So anyway, that happened really quickly for me. I was in Chinese medical school, and I was like, I don't want to put needles in anybody.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, everybody who hears acupuncturist is like, oh, needles. No, I don't put needles in anybody, and I generally don't prescribe herbs unless people are really following the nutritional protocols that I create for them, because I really believe that your diet is your foundation, and it's super low-hanging fruit. If you don't have a foundational diet, then it's really, really challenging for you to get anything else done in a meaningful way.
So you're really addressing the gut. I mean, when you start off.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. It's
When
everything
you
all
take
at
someone
once.
like me, or so you get to know who I am, and you know what my diet patterns are. Tell me your process.
Well, there are foundational bricks, right? And we know that diet is not the only answer by any means. And thank goodness that that's a message that's coming across now. You need to have stress management. You need to look at your environmental toxic load. You need to look at exercise,
Love more, give more hugs.
All of it.
You gotta do it all.
All of it. However, this is what I always tell my clients. I can give you herbs.
Yeah.
I can tell you to take this whole set of herbs. Are you going to remember to put it in your purse? Are you going to take the midday dose?
Yeah.
Are you going to take your morning dose? You're going to forget. You're going to go a couple days without it. I can't guarantee that you're going to take herbs. I can't guarantee you're going to exercise. I can't guarantee you're going to meditate. I can guarantee you're going to eat.
Yes.
So it's the lowest hanging fruit, no pun intended.
Easiest to,
it's the easiest thing for us to manage. And a lot of us, and a lot of people watching, live in a bubble where we're able to manage that. Hello, Erewhon, we can really manage what we eat.
Yeah.
And that's where I start with people.
So that's how you get into consulting, but then you got this whole bone broth freaking crazy thing that's going on, which, I know you guys did cleanses, and we did cleanses here through Erewhon. Thank you guys all for being a part of that, because I got amazing feedback on just the cleanse itself and how they felt, and it was because the juice cleansing was huge 6-7 years ago, and everybody
did it.
It was everybody's juice. Juice is great. It's enzyme rich. Especially if you're doing raw or organic products with a lot of antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and it's great. I personally believe bone broth takes it to another level. I like the combination of both, or doing it with soups. Like we said before, cleansing is more meant to give your system a little bit of a break, reset your gut health. But it's been a great success, and I just can't believe how many people have been involved in
People
this
love it.
process.
People love it.
And Kitchen Witch has theirs. I mean, this is what I love about all these small vendors that support Erewhon. We support them, they support us. It's a big happy family, as you know. How did you obviously this is, I think, more than a trend. I think this is something that's going to be a staple inside a lot of grocery stores. I think you're seeing it in grocery stores across America. Might be high pressure pasteurized and some other things like that.
There's got to be you got to have the full
what I mean?
spectrum,
But but the best way to do it is raw, or
not
or
raw.
it's not raw, cooked.
But,
cooked, and but
not high pressure process.
Yeah, it's just we cook this, we put it in the jars, seal it up, boom, you're good for a month or two.
Yeah, so we actually, the whole cleanse that we do is really similar to what Erewhon does, and we do it because that's how I start a lot of clients off. Because a lot of my clients start really, really ill and really, really like acutely inflamed. So it could be like ulcerative colitis, it could be Crohn's, it could be chronic migraine, it could be, you know, I have a client who has chronic SIBO right now, it's small intestine bacterial overgrowth. People are sick and they feel awful and they need a place to start. And it's got to be simple. It has to be simple, but it also has to get them what they physiologically need. And so because of my history with the GAPS diet, I wanted to create a package that I could say, do this, come back to me in 5 days, tell me how you feel, tell me how different it is, do this and only this. When's the last time in your life, if ever, that you took a break and really hushed down your gut and saw
the gut is like, in general, I think I can say, and I'm not a trained expert, I've just been in the health field for a long time, but there's so much inflammation in the gut from what we eat. And I don't think we realize how crucial that is with your mindset, your energy levels, your sleep patterns. Can you connect the dots with gut health and brain health?
Yeah, I mean the simplest way to really think about it is if you're chronically irritating your gut, and your gut is like really from here to the other end, you know, it's the whole passageway. If you're chronically irritating that, it's like you have an active wound that your body is trying to heal, and healing takes literal and figurative energy. It just does. It takes ATP in your body to constantly be patching the wounds. It's like 1,000 paper cuts, you know, 1,000,000 paper cuts along your gut. That's how I like to describe it to people. So, it's like the Alzheimer's analogy, which is 36 holes in the roof. You can't just patch one. Same thing with the gut. It's 1,000,000 paper cuts, right? And so you can't pinpoint like, oh, right here in your gut, except you might have ulcerative colitis and there it is. But that's just one manifestation. It's 1,000,000 paper cuts down the whole thing. So you're chronically, constantly trying to soothe and heal and calm, and that takes a lot of energy away from, at the most basic level, blood flow to your brain. Clarity, ability to make clear decisions, ability to have the energy and motivation to express your creativity or to do your work or to, you know,
that's why, like, you know, I mean, I've done some cleanses. I've had a lot of friends that do cleanses, and you know, I got into health, just short story, is because it was all performance for me. I wanted to be a great athlete. I wanted to rock climb. I wanted to do martial arts. I remember when I was my first cleanse, I remember, like, you know, my arms started feeling better. All kinds of things started feeling better in my body, probably because I was taking care of my gut. Now that my body was now had time to actually work on other things. I think when people are sleeping, they wake up tired too, because their body's constantly working through the night. The liver's working, the kidneys, everything's working. That's why you don't eat that late. You know what I mean? You don't want to be digesting, and if you're not eating the right things too. I'm sure you believe in pairing foods, right? Like pairing foods correctly, because certain enzymes break down foods. And if you're mixing up the wrong stuff, you're using the second, third, fourth, you know, deeper internal systems to try to correct and rectify that.
Bloating.
And AKA bloating. And then imagine now you're going to sleep and you're not repairing. You're not repairing the things that you need to repair. I mean, obviously it's doing the number one thing it needs to repair is your gut, to digest the food, because then it becomes toxic. And that's been my understanding. It's basic. For me, it seems basic now because I've been around it so much.
And that is the basic premise. And what I think is so cool about that is, this is kind of something we talked about last time too, but then you can like take that premise and you can apply that, like I just said, to Alzheimer's. If anybody's heard of the book The End of Alzheimer's, it's not just for people who have Alzheimer's or a family member. It's an incredible book about like the future of medicine and the gut-brain axis. It's really incredible. And you know, that's what he's talking about. It's like, it begins here. And that's becoming cliche, but it's actually, it does begin here for everything else. And if you're not absorbing, if you're not healing, if you're not having a smoothly functioning digestion, ain't nothing else going to be able to work. I mean, this is how we fuel the rest of our body, right? So, and like I said, my most visceral experience, I'm so glad that I had it, was witnessing that in myself with anxiety and depression. And people don't always connect that. You know, they think that you have to have some crazy autoimmune disease, but, you know, newsflash, because anxiety and depression is now considered autoimmune.
So, can you break down anxiety and depression and how serotonin and different things are activated or regulated through gut health?
Yeah. So we, you know, again, like basics of it is, it's not just in our brain, this mood regulation, right? Now everybody knows like 2/3 of your neurotransmitters are made in your gut, or everybody has like different statistics for that, but they're actually made there, right? Yeah. And if your gut is so busy repairing...
You guys hear that? I mean, just, not the sirens.
LA,
no,
baby.
I mean, it's, your mood is regulated by what you eat. I mean, you know how powerful that is? Mood, attitude. Think about your mood. Your attitude changes when your mood changes because you're dealing with pain or suffering. And then attitude to me is really the only real sickness in life is having a bad attitude. And for me,
it changes your reactions.
So your absolutely, in the connections, your relationship, that
your work,
everything,
all the opportunities that are presented.
That's why I tell people you want to wake up feeling good. Yeah. Like there's nothing like feeling good. I don't look at longevity. I look at feeling good in the moment. So if I'm looking at that, time's just going to pass by. I'm going to create awesome relationships. Yeah. Okay, the siren's gone.
But yeah, what you just said reminds me of this thing that I tell all my clients, and I said it a little bit earlier, which is if you've never really focused on figuring out what might be bothering you on a deeper level, you don't really know how good you can feel. And that's not just like some cliche like perform better. I'm talking about like how good you can feel right now determines whether or not you're going to become a cancer patient, whether or not you're going to have chronic neck pain, back pain, whether or not you're going to manifest some autoimmune disease, whether or not you're going to literally lose your mind to Alzheimer's. Like that's how serious it is for me. Serious it is for me on my side, because I started with my dad dying of liver cancer, and like now I think of his diet and I think of his lifestyle, I think of his mindset, and it's a clear picture to me. He's textbook. Textbook. You know. And
so all the signs were. I mean, I know there's
right there.
I know that most people say when a terminal illness is coming 6-7 months, and there's signals inside of your body, and
years.
You know, and there's years before. But I've heard that, like Osho said that, a couple other like philosophers and medical
and then
scientists.
It's too late.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not always too late.
It's not always too late, but it's
a bigger challenge.
It's a big challenge.
It's a bigger challenge. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to our viewers? To take that plunge? Well, what is it that, I mean, because I know you talk to a lot of people and they're tiptoeing around trying to figure it out. I don't feel good. I got brain fog. I got all this stuff going on. What would you say your number one thing is to get inside of them and say, wake up. You can feel better. Or is it something that you can't? They got to want to do it themselves.
Oh, they absolutely have to want to do it themselves. And I always, you know what I say to some people when I start teaching a new group of students? It sounds kind of funny, but it's like, get a little bit scared. Like, go freak yourself out. The modern world is pretty wild. There's a lot going on for us. There's a lot happening inside our bodies that we don't have a lot of control of. And it's not about being like paranoid. It's just about open your eyes a little bit and see where you, as an individual, can shift a little bit to feel better every day. Because you feeling better every day impacts everyone all around you.
It's like the attitude. It's like the relationships that you make. It's like you can be a better version of yourself, and you can help other people to become a better version of themselves.
And
that's exciting.
It's true, and it's true.
That's exciting.
It sounds funny, but it's true. I mean, I see this on a micro level with clients. Usually I'm working with moms, and then I work with dads, and then I work with the kids in the family. But you watch the mom shift, and you see it reverberate throughout the family. And then everybody's curious about, oh, what are you eating? Oh, you're not eating that? How come? Maybe I should try that. Maybe I should try this. And you watch the family shift. And then you watch friends come over for the kids, and they kind of shift. And I've seen this over the years with my clients, because I tend to work with people for long time, and I watch those changes reverberate outward, and I've seen that even within my business, my own business partners, within my friendships and relationships. It reverberates slowly outward.
So okay, bone broth, we've talked about bone broth before, and like what it does, and all the awesome benefits and the anti-inflammatory properties, and you can go back to the old one to watch that, but this is about being inspired.
It was a good one.
This is a good one, but you got to be inspired when you start getting into the bone broth and you're putting money into this, and cold pressed juices and all organic produce, and going to your farmer's market, finding the biodynamic and supporting something that's something that is another level. I tell people, eat less, right? You don't need to eat so much. Save your money, you know, and reallocate your money, and know that you're going to feel better when you start really diving in, studying yourself, studying your body, reading, you know, read some of the few diets that are out there. You know what I mean? You want to read different schools of thoughts.
And they're pretty much all the same.
And they're all this. It's all the same stuff.
All the
I'm telling you,
same.
it's just a different font.
Call it this, call it that. It's all the same.
It really is.
It's all about inflammation.
And you experiment with it, and your body will tell you if it's working or not. It really does. You know, I mean, you'll know through. You don't have to do cognitive exercises, but you're going to be rolling around through the day, and things are just going to be firing at like light speed, and you're going to say, "Man, how did I get this information is coming to me so quickly?"
Or
my relationship's doing really good.
Or one of my favorite things is people coming to me, clients coming to me, and I do a check-in. I'm like, "Oh, how's your back pain?" And they're like, "Oh, wait, when did I?"
Yeah.
I went running yesterday. I guess I haven't had, and I'm like,
you
haven't had the back pain that you've had for the last 10 years. You haven't had that pain for the last 10 days.
That's great.
It's like this insidious improvement, you know, and that's what happened to me with the anxiety and depression. It was like, it wasn't like one day I woke up. It was like over time. I was like, oh crap, like.
So random question. I mean, fats. Let's talk about fats real quick. I know a lot of people are so scared of fats, and they're thinking about diets all the time. The summer's coming up. It's spring. It's like I feel like the more fat I eat, the more trim I get, and the more energy that I have. Yeah. Why is that?
because fat is an incredible fuel for the human body. And you know, everybody's heard about the ketogenic diet. People are looking at, you know, MCT oil and all the different ways to increase ketones in the body. That's one end of the spectrum. Other end of the spectrum is this coupling, right? When you start getting into the anti-inflammatory realm, you inevitably take down your refined carbs, so like pastries, sugars, grains, glutens, all those kind of things. You don't necessarily need to eliminate them completely, but you end up taking them down when you go to an anti-inflammatory side of the road. When you increase good fats, you find, oh, I have the energy that an otherwise low-carb, low-fat diet would take away from me, because then you're just running on protein and your body's like totally starving. Fats are an amazing fuel for humans. Our bodies love them.
It's good for the brain. It's good for your synovial fluid in your spine. It's good
Without fat, we couldn't make our hormones.
Yeah.
And if we can't make our hormones, we can't feel like humans.
I'm excited right now. I really am. I love this stuff. And this is why I do this. And I get caught up because I'm going to shamelessly plug Santa Monica, opening April 11th right now.
Kitchen Witch will be in the store.
Kitchen Witch will be in the store. Santa Monica, April 11th. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to say it again. Santa Monica, April 11th.
Isn't Santa Monica like so close to
22 days away. And I remember talking with Truth Calkins, who was the guy behind the tonic bar at the first Erewhon. And he was saying, imagine if we have more than one of these one day. What could we do? And now this is the fourth one. And I just want to say thank you, Truth. And thank you to all the community that made this happen. The fourth one happen. It's like I get a little flip clip.
When do we get our Erewhon of the North?
Listen, as this nucleus grows, it's going to grow elsewhere, and it's going to inspire other grocers. You know, bring on the competition, because it's what makes us greater and better at what we do. So I'm just so excited about the Santa Monica store and having these great relationships. And thank you for pulling me out of the building store mentality, because this is the fuel that I needed.
This is what we do. I mean, thank you equally, because I am head down in this stuff all the time, and sometimes it's hard to remember why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, because you get so focused in on just, you know, sometimes what's right in front of you. But I think if you keep these things in front of you and your health and wellness in front of you, you'll pull yourself out and you'll take that breath. I mean, I do it every day. I'm always checking in with myself. I'm always working on breathing exercises. You know, I'm always thinking about the day. I'm like, you know, today I think I need to go really light today and just do mostly broths. Maybe a little greens, some, you know, steamed greens, and, you know, maybe a little protein, but that's it. Maybe a couple tonics.
Sounds like a good day.
Maybe I'll throw a matcha in there, get a little wild. And I'm not perfect. Trust me, everyone out there that knows me knows I am not perfect. I'm crazy and wild, but 95% of the time I'm eating well, because I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know what I'm talking to people about. So,
just try. That's what I say. Just give it a try. Make a little bit of a change. My new thing is really getting people to not new, but like, check out your sugar intake. Let's just let that go.
That's probably one thing that you should probably start really looking at, is definitely your sugar intake.
And sugar ain't just sugar cubes.
Yeah.
Sugar is a lot more.
I mean, you see people out there, there's like extremists out there that say, sugar's poison.
Yeah. Carbs are poison.
How far do you go with that?
Depends on the person. I mean, I work with people who have cancer, and so we might be taking them into the ketogenic realm where we're really taking down carbs, like to not to almost nothing. I really think, because carbs come from veggies, you know. Also, if you're super low carb, you're going to have veggies. I want them to have veggies, but some people I will take really extreme. Some people come to me wanting extreme. I've got a client right now who is super extreme, and then there's a whole spectrum of people. You got to meet people where they're at.
Because sugar can affect the body differently as far as like acid levels and alkaline levels, right?
Yeah, for sure. And deeper than that, what does chronic elevated and then crashing blood glucose do to a body and a brain? It causes inflammation. Yeah. And not just inflammation, but it causes, now we know, the cat's out of the bag, sugar is actually what contributes the most to cardiovascular disease. For that chronic up and down inflammation, your body lays down what? Cholesterol, made from fats, but cholesterol is actually a salve. It's your built-in salve. It just layers over all those hurt, inflamed parts in your arteries. So
the more inflamed, the more it keeps throwing it down. That's why you get the
hardens over time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So
we could lay this down all day long. How long are we into this thing?
A couple minutes. There's a lot to talk about.
So okay, so where do you see yourself going as you going over the next 5 years? What would you like to see?
Oh, that's a big question.
Like where are you going, and where do you see
my mom's probably wondering the same thing. Let's answer this for her. I mean, Kitchen Witch is growing. Kitchen Witch is growing. We're spreading our message further and further. And we're staying in glass, we're keeping our integrity as long as we're around, and that's pretty exciting. And I'll go along with that and I'll preach this message, but on the side, I am, I'm spending time with real people one-on-one. Yeah. And I'm helping people through autoimmune, through cancer, through chronic degenerative disease. And I'm working on a current secret project, working with one of my favorite groups of people, which are middle-aged women, and how chronic degenerative disease affects them. So I'm really diving deeply into that realm right now and working one-on-one with a lot of people.
That's really cool. Yeah. Wow, you're an inspiration, and like this is the second time we've hung out, which is awesome. I love that, and you're one of the people that's always coming up to me saying, "Hey, when are we doing this again? Let's talk about this."
It's fun. Yeah, people need to know, and they need to know from a diverse group of voices. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, you have a sensitivity and just a wealth of knowledge, and we have to keep doing this. Yep. Let's keep doing this, and we're
so lucky to have this platform.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you want to say about, bone broth, or I think we got you inspired out there.
I think the bone broth message is out there. Just have it, buy it, make it, whatever, but just have it. It's a foundational food.
And then if they want to do a vegetable broth, what like a vegan vegetable broth, what is the best way to put if you're going to make the best vegan vegetable broth ever in the world, how do you make it?
So you want to really mineralize it, right? So I like to use dried mushrooms. You can use like different dried medicinal mushrooms if you want. Dried shiitakes are
I think we do dried
incredible.
shiitake in ours.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Yeah.
So just get as much as you can in there and simmer. You don't need to simmer it as long, so do like a little 4 hour simmer.
Lot less,
and you're going to get a lot in there, and then add some seaweeds. Kombu is a great thing to add, but I like to add anything. I'll do arame, I'll do dulse, I'll do different stuff like that, and get all the minerals in there. And
that's great.
Yeah, vegan, and it tastes great, and it's an awesome base for soups, that's for sure. But make sure you add good gray sea salt or pink sea salt, and then different seaweeds to get all the minerals out of there too.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There's a tip for the vegans out there.
Yeah. We don't forget about you.
No way. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Good to see you.
For having me.
So good to see you.
Can't wait to see you next time at Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. We'll do the next one in Santa Monica, and we're gonna dive a little deeper into this. All right. And then next time we're gonna ask some questions out there. Okay. And then we'll get this thing going and ask some real personal questions if you need to.
Yeah, real personal.
Real personal. Let's know. Let's
what
open
do you want to know about me?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
I forgot. I'm a Instagram personality now.
Yes.
It's at the Gutsy Chef, and I'm trying to share more about how to do this in real life.
At the Gutsy Chef.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah.
All right. Remember, Erewhon, Santa Monica, April 11th.